Islam, Shalom, Hola, Aloha, Assalamu Alaikum, Osio, Bonjour. This is your brother Zach Bey, Indigenous American Moor, coming to you live and in full effect. Thank you for joining me once again. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that thumbs up on my video, leave a comment, interact with the content, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I'm dropping new content. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Peace and love to all the Muslims, all the Moors all over the world, worldwide. Back at it again. Today we're jumping into understanding vitamins and minerals. I want to make this a short video just to get some concepts and to make some connections on exactly what we're dealing with and how long we've been dealing with certain situations. All right. The discovery of the life sparks. All right. Bold legs, scaled skin, and enlarged hearts. Vitamins can prevent these afflictions. Yet for years, physicians and scientists prevented people from having vitamins. This is the story of those years. Years of prejudice, ignorance, blind hubris. Years when scientists in entrenched positions of medical orthodoxy rejected, in fact even refused to test the theories of the nutritional pioneers who realized that food can cure disease, that pellagra, beriberi, scurvy, and rickets, killers and maimers of recent generations, can be prevented by simple changes in diet. Their explanations was just too simple, but if they had been heeded, countless hunchback children would have stood straight. The ocean floor will be marked by fewer sailor skeletons, and the American Moors would have suffered one less major indignity. All right, a plague of corn. All right, maize, y'all, masa. All right, we all know that this is an indigenous food, corn, maize. All right, so let's get into this. A small little short story just to paint a picture. All right, Nate, eat your mash, says Etta. Nate spoons the gruel, leaving a small piece of fatback, which is swine, all right, pork, in the bowl to be savored at the end of the meal. The fatback is a treat. Etta has been serving Nate cornmeal mash with molasses every morning and night since time, or at least his memory began. Nate's body aches, but he knows it isn't from working all day in the cotton fields. It's a hollow ache, a cry, a hunger. The skin on his arms is dry and scaled like a sunburned lizard. All right, take the picture. John walks in, and Nate knows there will be no peace this night. His father has been acting like a wild man lately. He doesn't drink, though he might if there were any money. But the way he acts makes the white men he works for call him just another crazy son of a slave. The cornmeal mash is killing the family. They have pellagra, but they couldn't give this sickness a name or tell you why they have it. Scenes like these were repeated all over the South in the first part of this century. They won't happen again. The world now knows how easy it is to prevent pellagra. Simply add the B vitamins niacin to the diet. All right, so I want you to take heed to this. It says it won't happen again. They won't let this happen again. They, the medical industry, the healthcare industry, scientists, doctors, physicians, that's they. it says it can simply be prevented by adding vitamin B, niacin. All right, sounds simple enough. I want you to make a connection in your mind. All right, so it says these atrocities were done on the so-called blacks, the American blacks, you know, the indigenous Niji, the aboriginal descendants of the original people of this land. All right, the indigenous people, that's who it was done to. Now it says vitamin B can prevent this. Now, I want you to make this connection in your mind, exactly what's going on. It says cornmeal mash, right? Cornmeal mash, molasses. Okay, let's take another quick look. All right, cornmeal mash with molasses and some fat back. All right, so we know as Moors and as Muslims, we don't eat the swine. It's automatically dirty right there. All right, cornmeal. Corn is great, natural indigenous food. All right, but the modern corn we have now is genetically modified, not in a laboratory, but by our ancestors from the original maize plant. All right, just so you know, if you ever researched Dr. Sebi, he mentioned how a lot of foods have been genetically modified by ancestors. All right, so cornmeal mash, corn, molasses, which is sugar, and pork or swine. It says these things were killing the family. It's killing the family. And a lot of breakfast, a lot of people still eat these same things today, regardless of it having niacin in it or not. That's just supposed to make it more complete. But aren't these same effects of these same foods combined? Could it potentially be having these same effects, but yet slower, more mildly? So you can't make the connections? All right, let's continue. Pellagra is considered a new disease because it didn't occur until after Christopher Columbus brought, all right, pay attention to this, after Christopher Columbus brought the first corn plants to Europe from the New World. The Europeans saw corn as an easy to grow miracle crop, and peasants began to depend on it for sustenance. It was at the beginning of the end for many people. It was the beginning of the end for many people. Whole communities were subject to scales and dementia of pellagra. It was amazing that anything functioned where the workers were plagued by the dullness and persistent degeneration of their niacin deficient bodies and minds. All right, so these are the effects of this over time: a dullness, all right, and persistent degenerations of bodies and minds. What's happening to our people now from poor diet? The combinations of these foods and most breakfast cereals, if you look at the ingredients, they're made with a genetically modified cornmeal, and they have tons of sugar, which is the same as molasses. All right, they might try to trick you by saying it has vitamin B, niacin in it, but that does not completely counteract the effects of said diet, making us dull. All right, dulling and dimming our intelligence and at a persistent degeneration of our minds and our bodies. All right, very, very important. And that's everybody, not just my people, not just the indigenous people, but most common folks, most of the so-called working class people. That's all natural.